Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Another day is here. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Voice of opinion and place of calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WUB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WUB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WUB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WUB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WUB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Tuesday morning, June 30th, 2026. I'm Mose Hyde, live on Creme Radio and on XTV. Yeah. Give it up. You're up early and you're with the right starters. This is Belize's premier morning conversation and we welcome you. You're listening to Creme Radio, you're watching XTV, you've got us on your app, so via social media and simulcast coverage. As always, first thing we got, make sure that the first, keep the most important thing, your well-being. Hope that it's an A+, your energy level high, your vibrations on the positive side, and of course we hope your morning has enough space for us. We are on spot for you right here, for join and engage, or if not, just listen and watch, that works, but we prefer when you come on down and be a part of the conversation. This morning, as all mornings, we begin with the warm-ups. We've got your morning news. Before we do the morning news, however, we turn to today's general weather forecast from the National Meteorological Service.
Moist and unstable conditions will prevail today, and in the 24-hour forecast, skies will be cloudy with a few showers and thunderstorms expected around the country today, decreasing by this evening. Then a few showers and isolated thunderstorms should redevelop over the south tonight, with isolated shower activity elsewhere. High temperatures will reach around 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 91 inland, then 82 up in the hills. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 78 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 inland, then 68 in the mountains. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 5 to 15 knots, with sea conditions being light chop to choppy. Then high tides occur at 9:42 this morning and at 11:22 tonight. Low tides at 5:21 this evening, then at 4:07 tomorrow morning. The sun will set at 6:31 this evening and rise at 5:21 tomorrow morning, while moonrise is at 7:23 tonight and moon set at 6:38 tomorrow morning. And now for the extended forecast. Skies will be partly cloudy with isolated showers or thunderstorms developing for Wednesday and Wednesday night. And now for the sargassum update. There is a medium to high chance of more sargassum mats affecting coastal destinations during the next few days, producing low to moderate impacts. And finally for the tropical weather outlook. Tropical cyclone formation is unexpected over the North Atlantic Basin during the next 48 hours. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
The Belize Policy and Research Institute, Belpre, has conducted a review of the gaps in Belize's anti-corruption legislation. Assessed against international standards were Belize's constitution and 10 ordinary laws. Last week, Belpre presented its findings on the work done in collaboration with the Global Financial Integrity. Belpre Executive Director Dr. Dylan Vernon went into more details on their findings.
This analysis basically is showing that we do have in Belize a framework for anti-corruption that on paper is strong in some areas, but that the legislation has gaps that could be improved and should be improved, and we make recommendations on those to ensure that there is more enforcement. In the short finding of the report and the analysis is that while we have some legislation, enforcement is hampered by the legislation also having gaps. And the three big things coming out of this would be: one, there's a lack of coordination among the bodies that are responsible for implementing the various pieces of legislation. Some of the pieces of legislation do not have implementing bodies at all. And that also prevents the enforcement bit. But there's also, in the context of the legislation themselves, taken together, a lack of implementation because of lack of awareness and the overall structure of impunity from illegal activity on the corruption when they do happen.
The report makes recommendations to strengthen the different anti-corruption institutions. Under policy reform, the report recommends the creation of an anti-corruption agenda. On a related note, Belpre has been in existence for just over 1 year, and Dr. Vernon says there is great demand for its work. In the pipeline is a policy paper on campaign finance regulation.
Belpre main mission is to increase the number of evidence-based policies that we have and to increase the monitoring and implementation of these policies. We have put this in 1 year, just over 1 year, that there's great demand for Belfries work. We have been contracted by the government of Belize to do the national youth policy, the next one. And that is something that we are halfway through. And we have our own internal issues that we're doing research on, including one coming up where we're going to recommend the best approach, we think, for campaign finance regulation in Belize. And we have several things in the pipeline, but in a nutshell, in a short time, we've done a lot, yes, but that is because there's a demand for it. And there's also a need to join the expertise at the University of Belize with the demands of society, the government in particular.
To honor the core commitments of the Blue Bonds program, Belize must protect an additional 4.95% of its territorial waters. Under milestone 4 of the program, achieved in November 2024, Belize legally expanded its marine protections to cover 25.05% of its waters. To fulfill the ultimate milestone 6 requirement, the country must expand this to 30% ocean protection by November 2026. While fishers acknowledge the ecological importance of marine conservation, many oppose the proposed protection zones due to immediate threats to their livelihoods. Fearing no-take zones will severely restrict catches and reduce household income. Additionally, closing traditional fishing grounds pushes displaced fishers into other territories, creating overcrowding and heightened competition across remaining open waters. Beyond financial concerns, fishers express deep frustration with the planning and enforcement process, stating they feel treated like obstacles to the Blue Bond rather than active partners. On Thursday, Minister of Marine Conservation, Honorable Andre Perez, said they are in the final stages of consultations with fishers.
Yes, of course, that involves consultation, that surveys that we're doing, but we are quite on track in getting the waters as required by the Blue Bonds Agreement. The consultation is part of it. I think they recently had one in Keypacker, or they already had one in Keypacker. That one is the final one's coming up.
The fishers who had rejected some of these because it's cutting into their livelihoods, how did you balance it out?
What we're saying is that we have commitment, and that is being drawn out, that is being worked out, and that is part of the consultation. That, again, as I mentioned earlier, is that we don't want any one of our fisher folks to be left behind, right? So that is what is consultation. We always have back and forth dialogue, and it continues, all right? So it's continuing. But the most important thing is consulting with them. We don't make decisions without consulting with them. That is the most important thing, understanding what is being, what is at stake, what they are potentially lose, but we must provide something else for them.
At Monday's police briefing, we asked the head of the National Crimes Investigation Branch, ACP Gilberto Romero, when last there was activity in investigation into the disappearance of 28-year-old Belmopan resident Deborah Bree Ortiz. He said the investigation has not produced sufficient evidence for any charges. She went missing on Friday, March 27th, and was last seen getting into a silver Chevy Equinox in the area of La Popular Bakery in Belize City.
There is no update at this time, no.
Is police still involved in
Yes, that is an active investigation. We have several leads we are following up on, several statements that were recorded. Those are being compiled, and we'll see where we go from there.
What's the latest, like what was the latest activity or action in relation to it?
The last information is that searches were done at several areas. Other leads were followed up, but at this time we have insufficient evidence to charge anyone for that case.
That brings us to the end of the morning news update. We'll take ourselves a break. When we come back, we'll be open up for conversation on this Tuesday morning. You're listening to Creme Radio. You're watching XTV. We will be right back.
Informative, accurate, current information. Crem's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Alright, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Tuesday morning, the 30th of June 2026. And we are now open for the business of conversation. This is where we get you on board and get to hear your thoughts, feelings, and concerns, and comments. All you need to do is just give away and call. Number is 280-5848. That's the direct line for you to be a participant in the conversation. We want to hear what you've got to say. So please jump in. We do have guests coming up after the first break. So my advice is that you get in early because it'd be kind of tight to try to get in later on in the show. So hope you're up early and you're ready to engage with us on this Tuesday morning WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Of course, I'll start at an unpleasant place while we wait for you to get yourself sorted out. It's not high energy. We have to acknowledge that June has been, while we're just about getting set to wrap up June, that June has been a very violent month. It's been soaked in bloodshed, and there's been no set pattern, except sadly we have a number of teenagers that have fallen victim to gun violence in this month of June. I think at least 4. We have not had any one particular area. Of course, multiple killings in Belize City. Southside, we had a recent killing in Danguiga, Lord's Bank. We've had killings in San Pedro now over the weekend, which by all appearance doesn't seem to be related to a robbery attempt at a supermarket. It appears it was a targeted killing. And so it's just the first month of summer. We have seen in the past where summer has been a time when we do have a spike. We've also seen times when we have seen a reduction, but for sure, generally speaking, over the years, summer has been a time where there's unfortunately and sadly an increase in the number of violent deaths. And so in this here first month of the summer, we are dealing with a lot of violence. And we've had a number of young boys, 16 years old, and 17 years old, succumbing to violence. And any violence is rough. Any death by gun violence is absolutely tragic, and for the family that has to bear that weight, it's the worst thing imaginable for them. And so we don't want to get into the business of ranking what's more tragic than the other. But there's no way getting around the horror of having a child, 16 years old, being killed. And we had, like, over the last 3 or 4 days, we had a 16-year-old in Danguiga. We had one in Lord's Bank. We see in some instances, photos or videos of these youngsters, and we hear the comments from the family members. And they remember these youths as, you know, with their full energy as 16 years, you know, most 16-year-olds are full of energy, full of life. And in a moment, it's all gone. And we have to remind everybody that this life is not a video game, right? This is not a video game where you reset and you get back your lives and we start all over again. In real life, when you get shot or you shoot someone and they die, that's it. It's the end of that story. For that person, for their families. And again, as is the case very often, the police investigations they have their hands full. You know, I see in our news yesterday evening and this morning, I read it, where the heads of CIB is asked for an update on a missing person, Beatrice, that went missing on March 27th. And the response is that, well, there's not been enough evidence found to really get on top of that case. Now, to the rest of us who have moved on from that, and we have all manners of things to have to deal with on a regular basis, if we are not related or we don't know that person, our interest in that story has faded. Yes, in the immediate aftermath, of course, most of us are going to be concerned. We worry. We hope that it's not the worst. We hope that if something has happened, the police will get on top of it. But after a week or so, we're off it, and then for sure after a couple of weeks, it's business as usual, right? We have other things, we have other tragedies that have occurred in the meantime, and maybe even other missing persons. But for the family of someone who's gone missing, it's the worst kind of tragedy, because they are without that closure at the very least. They're always going to have, I know several families that have missing persons that are wide open for a time now, and even though in the back of their minds they fear that something bad has happened, unfortunately, every now and then they might get a call, somebody say, you know, I'm missing somebody will look like so and so and so and so, or somebody say, I'm at Cross at Chetomal. It happens. So the journey for a family, when it's just a big question mark, it's devastation. It's like there is no, you know, for someone, if your loved one is killed, there is opportunity, while it is not pleasant for the community, the family, the friends, everybody to come along and to give that kind of group therapy, that group hug, that group love, that support, and then the process of grieving, and then the whole process of closure or finally parting ways and putting that person to rest. Everything that happens around that is a part of the therapy for the loved ones, even while they grieve, even while it provides that final moment, and then everybody recognizes that they have to be there. We close together and we give as much as we are able to. We give that strength to that family. When there is not that closure, that is delayed. Yes, people are going to be supportive, but you know, it's not like we come together and we have that official moment where we essentially accept, and then we start to repair and we start to move on. The family of somebody who was missing never gets that. They never get that. And so it's, in my view, like the worst kind. And absolutely not here to bring down investigators, the detectives who have this huge job to do. But we understand when it comes to these cases, the longer they go on, and it's true for most places in the world, the longer it goes on, the less likely you're going to produce a result. That's just the laws of physics on that. The tips and the little call-ins and stuff like that you're going to get in 1, 2, 3 days after something has happened, that fades away. So when you hear the detective says, we've not gotten enough evidence, we don't really know, we can't file charges, and we can't produce even a location. If something tragic has happened, we don't even know where to begin looking for that loved one. Obviously, there's been a lot of search conducted and led by family members and friends, and that took place. But again, people's willingness to really get out there with the family, that again starts to dwindle down. It's a bad situation. We've all moved on, but for that family, it's as if it happened this morning, or as if it happened last night. It is still raw. It is still a horror show for them. They're living a nightmare. And so, I'm glad that the reporters asked the detective about an update. We want to believe that our detectives never really close a case, even after time has passed. We want to believe that there is some kind of capacity for cold cases. But we have to be honest, there's a limitation to the capacity to conduct investigations when you exist in a space like Belize, where every day or two there's a new case to investigate. There's a new murder to investigate. It's almost every 2 or 3 days, let's put it like that. Very bad situation, let's call it 3 days, because we average about over 100 murders a year. So every couple of days you have a new murder to investigate, and you have a set number of detectives that are able to work on these cases. So if your case is not broken in the first month, there's no breakthrough in the investigation, it becomes extremely unlikely. And that is the worst case scenario for any family. Not only do you lose your loved one, but you have to accept that there is no resolution to that. Few families are able to go through a process where they see the system work, where if their loved one has been hurt, has been killed, that there is a successful investigative process, and then of course the judiciary then works and functions, and people are found and held accountable for what they've done. And we just have layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of people who have had to accept the dead end. The dead end has become the more likely scenario when your loved one is hurt, killed, or when your loved one goes missing. The dead end is the highest probability outcome. And that is ultimately a gap that has to be reduced. The fact that sheer number of dead ends when people are killed, or difficulty once it is people have done whatever they've done and it's not in broad daylight, we don't have surveillance cameras, eyewitnesses are few or none, it's just a question mark that is left for the family. And so as we kind of look at June and what we've experienced, and it is not pleasant to spend time talking about something like that early in the morning. We often say this, but it's an obligation. It's an obligation because we have to have some sense of, well, if we cannot feel what another person is feeling, we lose the drive to try to keep the pressure on the system to become better. Keep the pressure, I really love the idea of our reporters bringing up old cases, because it's not to spoil the day for investigators or make them feel have a bad moment via an interview. It's to make them always be conscious that as a community we not just write it off. We can't write off people's lives like that. And it might not be nice to be reminded that there are so many cases that are unresolved, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. So I'm very pleased because the family has to carry the burden by themselves at some point in time, and we have to act and let that family know that yes, we know that this is no longer a headline story, this is no longer something that people are talking about or people are posting about, because that's the new reality in 2026. But we have to always make sure that especially the people who we are looking to, the detectives anyway, it's not an easy job. The things are not set up for them to easily go out there and find everything quickly and to wrap up everything. But being humans, if they don't feel the sense of the community agitation, the community staying there and saying, listen, we want to hear, we want to know what's going on, it's easy for them to put these things on the back burners, because there's so much happening. New things happening all the time for them to have to take on. And I have no idea how many detectives we have in the CIB for the police department. I don't know how many of them. I can't imagine that they have enough to deal with the number of cases that at any one point in time, both cases that are unresolved in the past and things that are in the present, and then things that are going to happen in the very, very near future. I can't imagine that they have the manpower to really deal with it. There's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so many officers that, and the time that it takes to really hit the ground and work a case and find results. So it's not like I would ever suggest that this is some easy job. Absolutely, it's not. It's tough, and it's an interesting thing to think about exactly how many actual detectives we have, like who are, you would have said, we qualified detectives, right? This is their specialty. They investigate violent crimes. Like, how many of those individuals does the police department have? Right? It's not the entire police department that investigates violent crimes. You have different things for different officers. And so you have the CIB, we call it CIB, the detective unit for the police department. I have to be honest, it's like you have, how many of those you really need in a Belize for deal with what's going on, to keep up, right? You need almost like a whole department onto itself. Like that's an area I would imagine of great need, an area where you have detectives really good at what they do and performing at high levels. Even if you had the best detectives, the number of cases and the degree of challenges, it's that's a lot of work. And they are not just, again, there to follow rumors or to have their suspicions. They have to create a file of evidence that the judiciary can be lean on, that the office of the DPP can lean on. That's how it works. It's a huge challenge, and so I'm provoked to speak on this because it's like easy one is say you can show out the numbers. Oh, there's been so many murders for June. Each murder is a whole mystery by itself that needs people who are trained to follow, to get down the ground, to get testimony, to try to get eyewitnesses, to try to find surveillance footage. That's a lot. Even now as we speak, while we've had a murder take place on Albert Street on a Saturday morning, and in fact surveillance footage did capture that murder in its entirety. There's been no arrests for that murder. You just imagine getting up in the morning and that is what you have as your job description. To go and find out, well, who could have done this? To pinpoint them and then to be able to find enough evidence that that person can be held accountable. That is to get up in the morning and always have a mission impossible on your desk. And you have to do your best. And how we provide the resources and the support to ensure that we can create an increase in a performance level, an increase in a capacity, because the problem is huge. If we don't have the capacity, then we end up with more and more people. It's like, somebody says, it's like this becomes the easiest place to kill someone and get away with it. It is. It's not just it has become, in reality, it is. It's a place where you can kill somebody and get away with it. And you can kill somebody, and if it is you care not to have the family find the body, unfortunately, it's a place where that is done. Right? Mysteries live here comfortably, unresolved. And I can't sit here and tell you that I have the recipe to make it different, but I know that you have to throw your best ideas at it. You obviously have to throw the resources that you have to make a dent in it, because you have to change that profile of our country. We are known for many things that are good, some beautiful things about where we live, but one of the worst aspects about the place we call home is that it's a place where you can kill and get away with it. If you care, you can get away with it fairly easily. That has to be inverted, that has to be turned around. That has to be high priority. And we have been languishing in this kind of profile now for a very long time. So we're hoping that it will be a question that I will try to get an answer to, like how many actual individuals are assigned to the investigative branch to do this type of heavy work. That is a matter of huge priority. Right now it is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. We have guests coming in for 7:30, so we're going to go early to 2 cents calm, and then we take our first break of the morning.
You're watching WUB and this is XTV, all right? And state of emergency have called. We have done that, you have seen that, and we're getting people in 2 cents per state of emergency, all right? Now, we want to get the people in 2 cents on the crime situation in the country, where they happen over and over every day. Let's go find out the people in 2 cents.
Right now, I'm not happy with the crime situation. Because that's the flop for we business. Check? Because everybody don't want to come out. People want to stay in. People don't want to come out on the street no more. Because they're scared of their life. You check?
That's your 2 cents.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Make them start hang.
That's your 2 cents.
Because where will they go to that? Where will they go to? It's a loan stupidness now. From grass to grass.
Situation right now.
But it's terrible, my brother. It's terrible. But they have to find a solution. How will I find it? The law have to figure it out.
That's your 2 cents.
Yes, my brother.
Sir, what are your 2 cents on the crime situation right now?
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, man. I have not much to say to that.
Okay. The crime situation right now, the going on control, your 2 cents on it.
Well, I feel like it's not being safe because you turn around everywhere, you hear gunshot and you hear stuff like that. So I guess our kids are not safe because they cannot be around the area, so in case any gunshot will fly and stuff.
That's your 2 cents.
Yeah.
What are your 2 cents on the crime situation right now?
On the crime situation, I really got much to say because I'm not really into that, like the SOE and everything. So not really bother me like that. But I just...
America just happened right from there.
Yeah, I know America happened from last night and police was up on the scene, but it don't really affect me because like what I said from yesterday, I from home to work and thing.
Okay.
I don't bother hang out and thing, so I also don't advise the users so that they come out for the streets and wising up, try to do something positive with their life and thing and carry on that kind of way.
Yeah, your 2 cents.
2 cents, sir.
Why?
You go sleep, crab, you get up, crab, and then want to get up.
Break. I speechless, yo. I speechless.
That's your 2 cents.
I speechless, bad.
All right.
The crime situation rough right now. We're rough. I have a whole youth on the street and I know it's rough because there's a lot of little children to come up and they're in the school right like just like how the school is set. Yeah, being rough, there's a youth on the street right now.
That's your 2 cents.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
How you feel about the crime situation right now, sir?
Why right now, make them do what they do. And we'll see where they go on the street after this. Hopefully they change. When they come out back, they change in life.
That's your 2 cents.
That's my 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents.
Hyde and Brothers Hyde. Celebrate your super handy dad with gifts he'll actually use and enjoy super savings all June. Like 15% off all power tools and Stanley hand tools, 20% off Vento PVC windows, 20% off Ascot porcelain tiles and 30% off Piso Forte ceramic tiles, and 40% off Sunlight windows and doors. Plus, stop in at Brothers Hyde every Saturday for our veranda clearance blowout. And for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win a power tool every Saturday. Visit Hyde and Brothers Hyde today and give Dad something worthy of his super handiness. Happy Father's Day to all super handy dads.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
This is the general. They just coming again. Yeah, yeah. They just won. They just yo yo. Hey, take it low, 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 take it low. Then you wine right there, take your time right there. You do it fine right there. You blow my mind right there. Take it low, 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 take it low. Hey, Babina Hanuma, Babina Hanuma.
El evento de fútbol más grande del mundo por fin llegó y Smart te invita a vivir toda la emoción del mundial. Antes de que empiece cada partido, predice quién se lleva la victoria. Entre más predicciones hagas, más oportunidades acumulas. Suma un punto cuando le aciertes al equipo ganador y si le atinas al marcador exacto, obtienes hasta 4 puntos. La persona con más puntos al terminar el mundial se lleva $2,500 en efectivo. Y eso no es todo. También habrá premios semanales durante toda la competencia. Además, el líder de los cuartos de final se lleva un paquete completo para armar su Watch Party. Participa directamente desde la app de Smart por solo 50 centavos por participación. Las predicciones estarán disponibles del 1 de junio al 18 de julio del 2026. No solo veas el mundial, vívelo con Smart. Smart, bring people together.
The Isabel Palma Polyclinic 2, located in San Antonio, Toledo, conducts outreach visits to some of the most remote communities in southern Belize at least twice a month.
Here in the Dolores village, it's approximately 3 hours from San Antonio. As you all can see, it's a remote area. There's basically no electricity, no telecommunication services. Since it's very difficult for the people to reach to the clinic, we've decided to bring the clinic out here and provide different services. For example, today we are with the maternal child health. We also have a booth out here giving health educations and some games. We also have 3 doctors with us today doing general medical checkup. We have our nurses doing our triage. We also have pharmacy with us and also a lab. All that is being done here today is being covered by the Isabel Palma Smart Polyclinic 2 San Antonio NHI clinic.
With deep sorrow and profound love, the Ingleton and Skeen families announce the passing of Everly Stephanie Skeen Ingleton. Everly leaves to cherish her memory, her beloved husband, Dion Ingleton, her daughters, Dana Foreman, Yannicka Matthews, and Adriana Ingleton.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
Catoo's Trucking is the one place that can handle all your concrete mix needs. 50-pound sandbags, white sand, sand and gravel, river sand, black dirt, clay and landfill, washed white sand, concrete mix and limestone. We also do land clearing, road construction, and excavation. For all your building and home projects, visit us at mile 14 on the Philip Golson Highway. Call or WhatsApp at 673-1118, 671-9199, or 661-5863. We're open Mondays to Saturdays. Our prices are so good you can't get a better deal anywhere. Catoo's Trucking, where we do things right.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for Dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's store near you and get store-wide discounts on select items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, Sankey smart TVs, gym equipment, and much, much more. Make Dad happy with popping deals for Dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
You're up against some tough challenges, but not all heavy-duty lubricants can handle the pressure. Until now, introducing Ridgeline Lubricants, a homegrown solution engineered right here to solve the hurdles you face every day. Backed by experts who understand the ups and downs of where you're operating and what's at stake. Specially formulated to protect your equipment so you can push past grueling hours, heavy loads, and harsh conditions to reach for greater productivity. Ridgeline Lubricants. Long live your equipment.
right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Tuesday morning, the 30th of June 2026. I'm Mose Hyde, hosting today live on Creme Radio and on XTV. And as advertised, as promised, when we were last visited by representatives of the Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited, we had a very significant conversation, but felt like we had some left on the table and left in the plate, and we don't like leaving stuff in the plate, so we felt there was a need for a part two, especially since we were unable to get one of the heavy lifters, one of the heavy behind the scenes hitters on for 5 minutes. And so we are very pleased this morning to follow up on this conversation. Here inside the WB, we have with us, well, let us start with the returning. Martine King is here with us. She was in studio the last time. And then we also have the Treasurer? Secretary. Dalia Shaw. And then to my left, I guess strategically placed to, I don't know, to keep me in a check. Alamia is in the house, all the way from down south, and it's what I call a full woman team. It's because when heavy lifting, that's how it has to be. Not that there are not men in the group, but this is a time for those who are gifted with taking on the fight. And so I got to say good morning and welcome to all of you. And I will start, I hope that you all heard part one. I'm not about to go into what we had, everything we spoke about in part one, but just so that we have a good re-entry into the conversation. When we spoke here, we were off the view, and you all confirmed that, hey, things hot in Toledo, it's off the radar. You city media, city people have a tendency for ignore Toledo a lot, but this thing is very significant. And I think that day there were some issues going on where active issues, I think in San Marcos? Indian Creek. So can you, since then to now, can you take the lead, Ms. King, and tell us if anything significant has happened in the background, on the ground, that you feel is important to share with the listeners and viewers?
Well, I think a lot, certainly in terms of Indian Creek, there is a continued exchange of letters between parties with all sorts of requests and demands being thrown out without, putting out names or anything like that. But certainly this communication, and it still stands as if that land is not privately held and owned with private land papers, owners, legally founded documents. And so there's still communication going on between parties as if that legal constitutional right to that private land that's in question, particularly in Indian Creek, doesn't exist, right? Like as if I came to your home and your lot, your house, and Lisselle and I to fight about it, but we not to worry about you because that belongs we to say we have access to it. So that continues. So there's really not been any resolution or clarity or anything happening there. That continues, and you can imagine what comes along with that, right? The emotions, the tensions, and again that continuous threat of what is the most grounding and binding to us, our land, is just being argued by others as if they own it, right? Just straight out, that for me, that not for you, ignore the law, ignore the Constitution. That continues. That has not changed.
Was it the case that since you were last here, the whole debacle about the bush sticks and the harvesting of bush sticks, that
was a part of it?
That that happened during the time, about 2 weeks ago, right?
That's what was happening when I was on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the video clip with the whole fight, and that turned violent. Someone got really hit. The woman's face was shown there.
Okay, so please, let me just do this for the conversation, for those who might not have heard the first part or might not know exactly what this group represents. So over the years, we have always had representatives from the Mayan leadership as they walk that journey towards securing the ruling in the historic ruling in the CCJ that essentially then put the onus on the government to create a framework agreement that would give the Mayans customary land, provide the space for customary land ownership and for communal land ownership by Mayans in Toledo. And we've had those conversations over the years. At some point, the seeking that agreement, well, it has been delayed. There's been contention going on, and now you would say you have a scenario where the agreement that has been put forward has created significant backlash from those who own land or who have leased the land in Toledo, who now are pushing back to say their constitutional right is being is being essentially thrown out, and their right to continue to own that land, it appears there is an effort to revoke that right, and so this group was formed. Now, this is not just some kind of academic exchange going on, because in real life, on the ground, you have conflict, confrontation, contention, whether it has to do with somebody wanting to make a road to their property, whether it has to do with people who are trying to set up maybe a plantation, a farming, and are saying, no, this is where I'm going to do it. Somebody said, but I have a title to this. And so now what we're being told is that in Indian Creek, even a matter like harvesting of bush sticks creates a scenario where the extent to which it became physical.
Okay.
So again, I don't believe that received extensive coverage here in Belize.
Yeah, I don't think people dig deep enough into understanding. It's just like there's a little video of this happening, but there's not an effort to really understand the full story and the full impacts of this, because the consent order, which is what government, the consent order is an agreement really with the court that government made that it would implement this matter, right? Because so that people understand what it is. This matter was going through the different court and went up to the CCJ, and I think government realized, okay, this is going in the direction that it's best for us to sit together and find a solution for this, right? And so it was an agreement between the appellants and the government of Belize to come up with this consent order and sign off and present it to the CCJ and say, this is what we're agreeing to work on. But remember, at the end of the day, it's the state that has the responsibility for the implementation of the consent order. It is not the appellants. The appellants need to be consulted. But also that doesn't bar the consultation of other people who would be affected by this order. But really, there was no other organized group that was speaking, because as we've said, a lot of people didn't think that it would impact them, the lease landowners, nor the title holders, because they believed that this consent order was just giving legal protection to what already exists on the ground. So the consent order opens with that Maya customary land tenure exists in the Toledo district. Fact. Let's not even argue that.
Yeah.
Right? And so the idea is to give legal protection to those customary practices, right? But what happened when the consent order was signed and somehow people believe I don't win, and then there was
everything.
We own whatever we say we own, right? And so there was kind of a land grabbing, thinking, oh, you could go in a Dahlia property and claim that that's my customary land or Martine land, and that's not the case. You know, that's not the way it is.
And that's what we see on the ground that has been bubbling.
And I would just like to add, living in a Maya community for me is just a whole misconception of the consent order. That's how I've seen it. Because these I am a Mopan, but I would always am a Belizean Mopan, because Belize for me is a home. And the minute we start to segregate ourselves, identifying ourselves as a certain culture, then there is no place for us to live in Belize like that, because we are a melting pot of different culture. And for me, it's a matter of respecting every culture within our country.
Now, which village are
I am from Pueblo Viejo, one of the oldest community in Toledo. It's a Mopan community. But now, since with all of this growing and developing, it's a mix of all different culture. So I believe in unity, and I believe in harmony. And that's the reason why I said, yes, like what we said, we have been living, coexisting from ever since, and respecting the Maya customary land. We have been practicing it, but the whole consent order came, and I feel like it just messed up everything, and it's a division amongst our people. So that's how I'm seeing it. And one of the reasons why I don't support this whole communal land tenure is because a lot of practices that's happening is not really being shown to the world what's happening. For example, a lot of people that has communal land are rallying behind communal land are the ones that already give out or sold out their lands. It's not the government selling the land, you know. It's the same people that per se own the land, but they don't have the papers, but they do have like works with, for example, I'll give it a typical example of doing a media, as they call it. It's like half and a half. They would be working with the Guatemalans, and the people would give that permission to use the land. And somehow they would not be able to meet up some payments or whatnot. Then what happened? The Guatemalans override that, and they get hold or get that right of owning, which is illegal, but that's what's happening right now. So that's why I don't believe in communal land, because it's not safe. It's not safe, and it's not secure for the future. So those are just one of my take on it.
Couple things there. You're citing examples of what I'd call complications. But it's hard for, and it's easy, you know, when we're having these conversations, I get it, that you have to put out the full picture, right?
Yes.
How things can go wrong. I'm concerned though that, well, at least I would need an audit of what it looks like on the ground to know whether or not the extent to which what you're saying is the majority.
I even give it,
so if you
give it
say
to the government a call, that they need to look into these matters.
So if you say to me that, you know, the problem here is that the people who are really supportive and who are driving this communal land ownership approach are people who have already participated in selling their land and now see it as an opportunity to
land grab,
to get back land. I am sure, understanding human nature, that you will have such individuals, right? You'll have sneaky people and shady people. But are you suggesting that the vast majority of people who have bought into that, the entire journey through the courts, that the majority of them fall into that category, that it's just based on that fact?
It's not only based on that, but if we have to go back where they actually take the government to court. First of all, I live in a community. I live there, born and live there. We were not consulted. We did not give that consent. I will speak on myself, on behalf of myself. I would never say I speak on behalf of the Maya community, but I have the sentiment, a lot of people, more people like myself, are not consulted before they even took this to court. So it's not actually our voice as Toledo people or as Amaya people. And hence the reason I tend to say that how I'm very outspoken about it, because we were not consulted. I was just telling Martin the other day that they're putting the cart before the hearse. With this whole FPIC now coming afterwards, after the fact, they already took this to court. We accept that, we recognize it, but then they're doing everything backwards. So, and that is what my take on that one.
Okay, so let me ask, I'm sorry, but let me ask, so let us kind of backpedal to that, and let us kind of rewind a bit. The primary reason given for this entire movement is that the Mayans in Toledo were being taken advantage of and were being taken for granted. That what we have is a legacy of colonization, of oppression, and then we had the state continuing disregarding the traditional belief system and values of these communities, but worse than that, just imposing upon them whatever they wanted to do, because then Toledo is a resource-rich district. So you give your supporters 200 acres there. Oh, that's on Maya. They don't worry about it. They don't have no papers for that. That is the understanding that I have for the motivation for the entire struggle and for what was achieved. As a Mayan, you are. Do you not share that belief that was the legacy that really prompted the entire struggle?
From the late Holy Ancho, from what we have read and seen, that was the legacy. But now that this organization, the organization that's leading now, it's a complete turn. That I always tell them in meeting, because I have a one-to-one with them most of the time, because they tend to mislead the people. I 100%, I even told her, I am 1,000% I would be behind you if it was for the Maya people. But I don't see it that way. It is not only me, there are a couple. I'll give you an example with Big Falls. Big Falls was taken for granted. It's a big community, it's a diverse community. And that's the reason why I think one of the reasons why they are withdrawing from this. They want their names and their village to be taken out of the under the appellant. And so because they were not consulted, now they're seeing what is triple affecting not only the community but also the integration of all the people, because we have been intermarrying. We have families that have different family members outside of the districts. They want to come back in the community, and that's a problem now, because then you have to go and ask permission to this person, which should not be like that. You're in Belize, you have that freedom of movement. I think the ultimate law is that the state has that law to give you have that right. So no such organization should be able to dictate to you.
I think that there's two things, right? With in the case that as Dahlia has stated, they don't feel like they were consulted when this whole matter was taken to court. So people are still upset about that, right? But the fact is that this matter has gone through the court systems, and it's a fact that Maya customary land tenure exists in the Toledo district, right? And the fact of what Dahlia is sharing about is the nuances of what is happening on the ground, right? So which makes the matter whole complicated. Remember, this whole implementation is about protecting Belizeans, right? Belizeans' rights, right? But there's lots of things on the ground that are complicated things, and the longer government takes to resolve it, the more difficult it becomes. It's not going to go away, right? And so that is key that you address this. The fact, as I shared and I follow up from the short time I appeared in the last show, was that it is true, it is factual that government was giving out land, because when they sat in Belmopan and looked at the maps, what they saw were what you call national land or crown land, right? And they thought nobody lived or was occupying those lands, but in fact people were using and occupying those lands, right? And so there was all this conversation happening to say, hey man, you honor the giveaway land that we are using and occupying, right? So to address that, government What government did in certain communities, I know, for example, in Silver Creek, was that they started subdividing land and issuing land, right? So a lot of Silver Creek is already holding in title or leases, but that didn't happen in all the villages, right? So, but people are saying we have a way of using and occupying our land, our Maya customary way, and that is what we want to have protected. And we at TPLL don't have an issue with that, right? We accept that Maya customary land tenure exists and they should be given the protection. What our thing is that whatever solution you come up with has to be a solution that recognizes the rights of title and lease landowners, because we also exist in the Toledo district, right? So the customary thing is not a new thing. It's not new. It's been there. What you're giving, what you're trying to do is afford it the protection it deserves, right? And so that is what is important in all of this. But because there's a misunderstanding about and misinformation about what it really means, and the kind of encouragement that you should go and kind of land grab, right?
Land terrorism.
Land terrorism, yes. You should go and land grab, because that's your land. It doesn't matter, like I said earlier, that who owns it, right?
So there is no rhyme or reason to that process internally with the advocates of the customary land. Isn't there methodology to it? Isn't there a process of the alcaldes being involved, and there's some...
that is very funny. I would answer to that because I live in a community. No, because I was just telling Martin this.
I wasn't intentionally trying to
No,
funny.
it's not funny, but it is a very serious situation. If an alcalde doesn't like you in a community, he or she will not even bother to look your way and tell you, okay, you can get a piece of land here, which they should not be the one to decide where you should live. But once you're not in favor, if you are not a pro MLA, of course, they will completely disregard your request. So for me, that alone is already a problem within a community. Let's say I want to live in another village. If the alcalde already know that I am a pro TPLL, of course, they will not even bother look my way, and that is infringing my Belizean right. So that's how I'm seeing it.
So there are layers, because you realize that, so we know the ruling, the CCJ, what they said. When we really strengthen our movement is what I'm holding here, which is the draft bill, right? And I just want to point out just the word, all individual titles issued in favor of private persons within the said area shall be extinguished in favor of Maya customary land tenure on registration. So there are layers to this. This is what Lisselle was saying earlier, that basically my constitutional rights to private or lease land, they are extinguished. And then you get into, and you wear two hats, because you're a landowner and you are a Mopa and Maya and you live in the villages where there are layers like that. Whereas if they don't like you or if you're against them, then you're going to have your own issue, and all of that needs to be worked out. Can you imagine how that system has its complications? But for us as TPLL, we came back to one, where's the law, the constitution and the government are still in charge. So it's not a land grab, it's not land terrorism, it's not for us to get all our way, it's not for the Mayans to get all their way. So we still need to have governance until not this bill, that's for sure, but some agreed to way forward happens. And this is what we keep saying, where's law and order? Where's our presence as private, at least landowners? Because Lucelle is right, we were very quiet for the most part. There are some villages like Emery Grove which has been fighting from the get-go, because half of their village has been claimed, and in fact buildings have even been built within what is known to be Emery Grove. So this is where our TPLL fight comes in, for our constitutional right to what is ours.
Mose, I think it's a good segue, Martin, to talk about what the draft bill is saying, right? Because remember, this matter is not with even the Toledo Alcalde Association or the Maya Leaders Alliance. This is a matter with government, because at the end of the day, government is the one ultimately is going to make the decision, right? And so the focus is on the bill. And so let me explain what the bill says that is alarming to us. The bill is basically saying, for example, if you have Pueblo Viejo and you have 1,000 individuals who are Belizean citizens, from newborn, from age 0 onward, the way the formula is calculated is that each person will be allocated, based on that formula, there will be 5 acres per person. So Pueblo Viejo will get 5,000 acres automatically. I imagine for ease that it would be contiguous. You can't parcel it out. So automatically they're going to decide, okay, this is the 5,000 acres that becomes land for Pueblo Viejo. And if your land happens to fall within that 5,000 acres, then the bill is saying that your title and leases will automatically be extinguished and you would be compensated. So even if you have a hotel in that, on that land, that hotel, you may be compensated for the hotel, but that hotel is no longer yours, right? If you have a shop, if you have a cattle farming, it automatically goes to the ownership of the village, and the only way you can remain in that village is the village agrees for you to remain occupying and using that land, right? And whatever arrangements you are able to make with them. But it is not your land, right? In addition to that, so based on the conversations that we had when we engaged Senior Counsel Andrew Marshallek, he estimates conservatively that there will be 1,100 to 1,200 leases or titles affected. But that is only looking at that. So if you do that for every village, right? But what isn't calculated in that number is that outside of that, if you use an occupation for 30 years, then that is annexed to that 5,000 acres. So that too, if that for whatever reason you are using and occupying, and that is why we're saying that people are entering since 2015, there's been more a mad rush for that and the encouragement for people to try to take adverse possession of land. So that when by the time this is settled, you can say, but I have been here since 2015, but, or I've been here since, because before 2015, people were respecting private and leased lands more than they are now. Now there's an encouragement, like if go in there, settle, farm, build a house, and then when by the time government gets around to this, we have adverse possession of it, and it's going to be harder to remove people from those lands, right? So that is what is happening. So we're saying, but how you can just automatically extinguish? And let us be clear to the Belizean public, this is not some body from outside. Yes, there are foreigners, but the majority of it are regular Belizeans. It is a person who owns a residential lot in one of the Maya villages, who owns a 50 by 75 piece of land, right? And they have their house in that. They have borrowed money. Oh, by the way, if you borrow money, if you have a Mennonite house and you could put that up on a trailer and move that, you could go ahead and move that if you so desire. But if you have a concrete house, which is what, you know, is changing, a lot of people have these concrete houses, you will be compensated for your house, whatever the formula is that government decides, because the bill is absent that compensation. And in the interview the last time with the Attorney General, when he was speaking about the whole halakte, what he was saying on the media is like the formula being used to calculate the value of the land that was taken to court, where the Baha is different than the calculation that is used in other parts of the country, right? So it's much higher than what. So are you going to use that formula to settle all the claims that we are making?
Well, and the other issue in this, remember, Lisselle, too, is that there was little way written in this draft bill where we had any system where we could say, no, we don't agree with that, or no, we want to be able to stand up and disagree or agree or work with this.
But prior to this draft, you all were not officially in the process.
We are not included.
We were not at all.
But now you
Recently,
have,
Cabinet approved that we could be a part of the joint review panel. So we're waiting for one of those meetings to happen so that we can begin to officially.
Ultimately, that was
absent from very
that was a fatal flaw in the production of this draft.
Yes, in our mind, definitely. I mean, how do you do that and not put us at the table? Because we are the ones directly affected by this as well,
and hence when we had the forum in Belmopan the other day, I told them I hate when they call us third party, because we should not be categorized in any way or form, because we are a Belizean. Automatically we have that right, we have that constitutional right to be a part of any decision that will affect us not only today but in the future.
So Mose, to continue what I'm saying is that it's not only, it is a lot of Maya people that are going to be affected by this. So this isn't just somebody outside of the Maya villages. So do they want that? That is the question. Of course, there's going to be a process to consult with them. But people are so jaded now, they don't show up to meetings, right?
They don't know who to trust, what to believe.
People don't show up to meetings, they're so frustrated. Things have degenerated in meetings. It ends up in brawls, it ends up in people fighting. So people don't want to go to these meetings anymore, right?
All right.
So I think government has to understand that this is a serious matter that needs urgent attention.
And law and order is
meanwhile meanwhile you're working on this,
law and order.
Us to have protection. We need the police to respond when we call. We need the forestry to respond when we call, when there are issues. We need everybody to respond.
Has there been any engagement or any type of commitment to have security present during what obviously will be times of great tension? Has there been engagements with national security, law and order enforcement agencies to see how they can be an interim?
They've been told to stand down.
No.
Okay.
They've been told to stand down.
Though, as recently,
so what are you to do then? You all the various sides, yourselves included, are to be responsible for
your own security, for your own
protection. I'll tell you, when we have meetings with our membership, we pay for a police officer to be present because we feel that there might security reasons. We had a discussion that the Minister Zabane and his team, Mr. Rakenya, they put together last week, Monday at UB. And one of the suggestions we gave is that the next forum, someone needs to be there from the police. There needs to be someone who represents them because they're directly tied into this issue. Who's going to keep all of us safe?
So what does the police, the person who's responsible for the southern region for the police, what is their official response to the situation?
Slow or none until lately, where I think you're seeing where
none again they show up.
Yes, where if the minister says, guess what, go ahead, we're going to deal with this, let's show up. But generally speaking, if a lot of our membership, because we'll say, look, make a police report, let's do what we're supposed to do as law-abiding citizens. And they'll say, but I've gone to the police, I've called the police, and nothing that happened, because I think the police don't know what they're not informed.
Because they've been told that anything related that is termed Maya land conflict or anything related to the consent order that they think don't go, don't show up, stay away from it.
That would suggest that you're asking enforcement officials to go and interpret the consent order and to have a legal position on what is going on.
I think I would like to add
what is being asked of the enforcement officials is to prevent violence.
Totally.
So why would the whole what I'm saying is that there is no excuse for the enforcement mechanism.
All I think we are asking as TPL is to maintain that peace and order and to make sure that that law is set in place and it should not favor anybody. It should be across the board for all Belizeans because we deserve that. We have been paying our tax. We deserve that security from the nation. So So if that is not in place, then who else does the citizen of Belize will respect? If the other parties can claim and say, okay, I want a police such a time, and they show up, and then when our third parties are in situation like this, it gives, and that's where I think all the problems and all of these dramas are chaotic, are brewing up, because the people are starting to retaliate. And that's when we said that it might grow up more, but we don't condone those things. And hence the reason why, as TPLL, we are trying to be like a mediation in the process, whereby we're asking the government, we're requesting this, but if they're not readily answering us or answering the people that need the protection, then where are we to go to, or where are we to turn to?
All right, it's 1 minute after 8 o'clock. I've got to take a break. We'll be back inside the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Tuesday morning, 30th of June 2026.
The Isabel Palma Polyclinic 2, located in San Antonio, Toledo, was established in 2009 and earned Smart Health Facility status in 2022 through a partnership between the Government of Belize, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and the UK government. Today, the clinic serves residents from 26 surrounding villages, offering a range of modern health services. It also conducts outreach visits to some of the most remote communities in southern Belize at least twice a month. One such visit was recently led by Dr. David Lopez and his dedicated team to the village of Dolores. On a cool Monday morning before sunrise, the team gathers at the clinic and boards a bus en route to Dolores, one of the most remote villages near Belize's southern border with Guatemala. Before leaving on their mission, the team starts with a prayer. The journey is a 3-hour drive along rough gravel roads. In Dolores, there's no electricity or phone service, and the nearest satellite clinic is still more than an hour away. For many residents, access to healthcare is rare. Some women have even given birth in transit while trying to reach the closest facility. That's why the arrival of the Isabel Palma Polyclinic 2 team is so important. Gratefully welcomed and well attended by locals each time.
Well, today we're here in the Dolores village. It's approximately 3 hours from San Antonio. As you all can see, it's a remote area. There's basically no electricity, no telecommunication services. So it's actually even approximately an hour and a half away from our Santa Teresa satellite clinic. So today what we are doing is bringing the clinic to the people. Since it's very difficult for the people to reach to the clinic, we've decided to bring the clinic out here and provide different services. For example, today we are with the maternal child health. They are seeing child health at this moment. We also have a booth out here giving health educations and some games so that our patients can enjoy while they are waiting to go in and get triage. We also have 3 doctors with us today doing general medical checkup. We have our nurses doing our triage. We also have pharmacy with us and also a lab. So the lab is taking blood samples, which we are taking back to San Antonio, and we will process and give back results to the Santa Teresa Polyclinic. So basically, all that is being done here today is being covered by the Isabel Palma Smart Polyclinic 2 San Antonio NHI clinic.
In our village, we don't have no transportation, so we have to pay someone to take us in the hospital or in Santa Teresa. If there is no service today, some of our patients, they have to go in PG or in San Antonio and they have to pay charter. We are here by the health post. We just come to see some doctors. We thank them for their precious time they give us today. For some of our patients, like pregnant women, for some of the people that are diabetic, they are given some medication to help themselves. and we don't have to pay any cost.
After a full day of providing medical services, the team makes a 3-hour journey back home, tired but proud. These vital outreach missions are made possible through Belize's National Health Insurance NHI program. With ongoing plans to expand the NHI nationwide, even more communities across the country will soon gain access to quality health care.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
So do you think we got a deal?
No one should be up at this time. If you're still up, it's not you. It's your mattress. Because the right mattress changes everything. Sherwood Bedding Luxury Resort Pillow Top Mattress. Sleep better, wake better. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together. At Hyde and Brothers Hyde, celebrate your super handy dad with gifts he'll actually use and enjoy super savings all June. Like 15% off all power tools and Stanley hand tools, 20% off Vento PVC windows, 20% off Ascot porcelain tiles and 30% off Piso Forte ceramic tiles, and 40% off Sunlight windows and doors. Plus, stop in at Brothers Hyde every Saturday for our veranda clearance blowout. And for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win a power tool every Saturday. Visit Hyde and Brothers Hyde today and give Dad something worthy of his super handiness. Happy Father's Day to all super handy dads. The
biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarterfinal winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
"25 minutes after 8 o'clock, this is the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Tuesday morning. And straight out of the south, we have representatives of the Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited here representing their interests. They were here a couple weeks ago to say, listen, we need our side of this situation to be told. We need our concerns and the whole issue of the right to the titles and lease that they have on their properties, and the fact that those were in jeopardy because of what was proposed via a draft set up by the government. And so we have representing that group, actually a former minister of government, no less.
And a commissioner of
a commissioner
of the indigenous peoples.
Alamia used to come way back in the days before he turned minister, and then when he turned minister, you know, when people get big time, you know, they get busy. But we're glad to see, you know, in a person. Last time I'm via Zoom, Martin King and Dahlia Show here this morning representing this group and hoping that you get an understanding of, you know, what they feel is the risk to their constitutional right, to the title and leases that they possess right now. And so we have to look at the entire saga of what has taken place here. And during the break, we had quite a spirited conversation between myself and Ms. Alamea, because we have a different view on the matter of what the CCJ did and whether or not it has altered the status quo of the state's distribution of lands. And in my view, it fundamentally has. That when it comes to lands in Toledo, unlike what would have been the case prior to the ruling in court, government just could do anything it wanted to do. You never have to check with nobody, and it was, in my opinion, to the detriment of the Mayan people in Toledo. And so in an effort to try to recognize that they have a right, which we could say Ladyville, and we could say about Rancho Dolores, and we could say about all the different people who have been in areas for a long time, and you have village councils, and village councils are supposed to be consulted and all of that. The fact of the matter is that the alpha and the omega of land distribution in Belize has been the government of Belize. They have dictated how it goes. The ruling as it relates to what the Mayans have struggled for, and you know, with anything, I think Dahlia has pointed out, well, you know, this was not a perfect process. It was not perfect. Consultation, it had its own flaws, and that is to be assumed. A human effort will always have flaws. My position is guided not by those details, but just the principle of a thing, the principle of a struggle. Is the principle of the struggle an honorable one, or is it one that has no basis in what should be a moral and ethical approach to things? That's how I judge it. No, I would never suggest that I am more familiar with the granular details of how things were done, what is going on now. You have to walk in the shoes, you have to live in it.
You have to live in the community to experience.
To which, Ms. Alamia, you get your chance to jump in.
So more.
You're beer down for me. I'm thinking I want to get smacked one time.
No, because what we were talking about during the break is that what you're talking about, the power of the state and the control of a state over lands, etc., has been affected by this consent order, right? But my thing is that this consent order, what it is, the foundation of this is that there is another type of land tenure that exists in Belize, and it exists so in the Toledo district. And that tenure needs, and that ownership needs to be recognized and protected under law. Right? That is fundamentally it. It's so you're adding lease, you're adding title, and you're adding customary land. This customary land tenure is nothing new. They're not introducing a new idea. This already exists. People have been using and occupying their land customarily. What the government, why they had to take this to court is because government wasn't recognizing that this exists. All we knew about was about title and lease land, right? So that is, so I think we have to understand and respect that that is the foundation under which the consent order is. The issue is the implementation of it. The government did not, or the CCJ did not prescribe to government how it should, what the solution is. It is telling government, you need to go out there and create the administrative and legal framework to protect this third type of tenure in your country, right? And you should consult, right? But what I was saying in the break, that there's nothing in it that says you have to reach the point of no objection, where the appellants have a right to say, well, we don't agree with that, so you have to change it. No, you don't have to agree with everything, because remember, government has a responsibility to find a balance, to manage the rights of other Belizeans, right?
However.
So you have to, not only the Mayas live in a Toledo district, and not only Maya people live in a Maya villages, and it's very patriarchal to think that you have the solution for Maya people, because some Maya people do not want to participate in customary land tenure. They want to participate in title and leases. They want to participate in that. But for those who do want to participate in that, in customary land tenure, and
how do you many things are determined in the state by consensus. It's not about having 100% unanimous belief and support of a thing. It's just what the majority then supports. But so you are questioning whether or not that consensus was legitimately achieved.
For me, I would speak, like, as I was just going to add to what Ms. Lascelles was saying, whereby it's an additional land tenure, right, under the Constitution. Hence the reason why we're saying which they should not automatically, your land rights would be extinguished. It should not be an option. They should, just like how we're going to respect the communal rights, they should respect our land rights.
But can your village have access to multiple choice options for what it wants to implement?
We're saying yes.
Isn't it?
We're saying yes.
We're saying yes because
isn't it a situation where you are, if you have the, what I have been briefed and what has been explained to me is that there is an entirely traditional approach to consensus building within Mayan communities. Does that exist?
Yeah, that exists, and we respect that, because I live in a community.
And so if the majority of people in your community have supported this, it's just like if we have a situation here in Belize where we don't have enough of them, but when we have a referendum, for example, it doesn't matter that you had countless people who voted against, say, going to the ICJ. We had the chance to. We gave our opinion, but we now have to accept that the most of us wanted to go there. We can't stop the country from going to the ICJ. So if you're saying, I can understand if you have a non-Mayan who has a private property, who is not a resident in that village, and having ownership there, it's not a part of the democratic process, the traditional democratic process within your village. I can perfectly understand why you will have a line of differentiation there. I don't know how you get to actually have different options available at the level of the village person.
But I don't really agree with the option when it comes to the village level, because I was telling Martin the other day, and just yesterday, about how the process of voting occurs.
Okay.
I'll give you an example with the alcalde system.
Right.
I was in disagreement with the latest election they had with the alcalde, because it's only 20 people that elected the alcalde that we have right now that's presently in power. And that's not only 20 people. It's not only 20 people that are living in Pueblo. This system is broken. It's more of a dictatorship process. And hence the reason I don't agree with this whole communal, because it's going to segue one way or the other, because there is no set laws that said, okay, this is how we are going to manage or to go headway. For example, I heard in the bill as well where they want to set a trust fund. We don't want that to happen, because you know why? It's my taxpayers' money, your taxpayers' money that's going to go into that trust if it does happen. And then who will control it? There was not stated in the bill that who will control it or who will have access or who will manage it. There is no proper accountability if we want to look into that arena.
Where are we now?
Well, our focus is where we are now. What government has on the table is the draft bill. That's all we have. Until we get something different, that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're doing our advocacy around. We don't agree with it, neither does the MLA-TAA agree with it.
And let's remind Lyselle as well that we understand and we are for the communal lands in that they needed protection. We live there, we know it, we could see where lands were just going. So we are not in opposition to that. This is, as Lyselle said, our problem right now, this draft bill that we do not accept for private and leased landowners.
So we haven't gotten an official letter, as was stated earlier, to say we are invited. It has been communicated to our attorney though that we will get a seat at the table. So we are waiting for an invitation for that meeting and to participate actively in that legal review committee. And then we definitely, I almost think you have to trash most of that. Start over. That really, I don't know. That
There was no consultation within the third.
Yeah, no, not only that. There's no recognition of how Toledo really works.
No.
This doesn't recognize how Toledo works, right? So that is one of the things. We want to sit at that committee, and we want that bill to be amended or rewritten, and we want our rights as private and leased landowners to be protected. And that the solution that exists, what we are proposing, because what this bill, the direction this bill is taking us is that you will have a collective title, right? So in order for you to have a collective title, yes, you have to extinguish this. Because if you look on your laptop and that, it said this table that one village, and within that village exists private lands, right? You have to extinguish that land in order to issue a collective title for this village. But you don't have to issue a title. You can just register that, you can do a registration of what the boundaries of that community is, and within that, you have different land tenures continue to coexist as they all already, but there's protection afforded for customary land tenure. So you have a mosaic of tenureship. That's what we think is the only solution towards this.
Okay. We're going to take a break because I'm behind significantly on my ad breaks. So let me try to catch up a little bit. It's 8:40 Tuesday morning, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We'll be right back.
This is the general. They just coming again. Yeah, yeah. They just won. They just yo. Hey, take it low, 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 take it low. Then you wine right there, take your time right there. You're doing fine right there. You blow my mind right there. Take it low, 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 take it low. Hey, Babina Hanuma, Babina Hanuma.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's store near you and get store-wide discounts on select items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, Sankey smart TVs, gym equipment, and much, much more. Make Dad happy with popping deals for Dad in June, only at Penny's.
Penny's, oh, Penny's.
The Isabel Palma Polyclinic 2, located in San Antonio, Toledo, conducts outreach visits to some of the most remote communities in southern Belize at least twice a month.
Here in the Dolores village, it's approximately 3 hours from San Antonio. As you all can see, it's a remote area. There's basically no electricity, no telecommunication services. Since it's very difficult for the people to reach to the clinic, we've decided to bring the clinic out here and provide different services. For example, today we are with the maternal child health. We also have a booth out here giving health educations and some games. We also have 3 doctors with us today doing general medical checkup. We have our nurses doing our triage. We also have pharmacy with us and also a lab. All that is being done here today is being covered by the Isabel Palma Smart Polyclinic 2 San Antonio NHI clinic.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today? I'm so stressed out. Okay, I'll help you right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay? Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
To the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Tuesday morning. We're active, 30th of June 2026, and the woman I can take over the show. The women of the South, representing Toledo private and lease landowners, discussing their concerns about a proposed draft bill with Mayalan tenure policy bill here this morning, and as private and lease landowners in Toledo, they feel like their rights are being extinguished by this draft, and are standing up and want the general public. We have an understanding of where things are, and we want to put a light there. We feel like it's complicated. We feel that it is ripe for a higher level of turmoil. We have to collectively work together to prevent that, and conversation, as difficult as they are an important part of achieving that. We have to understand one another. We have to feel where other people feel, and then figure out what are the best way if we move forward here. I think that's what motivates me and what motivates us, and why this conversation has had a part two. And so I will give the representatives of the Toledo private and lease landowners a chance to give their final thoughts before we go to a final break. I can't believe that we're out of time. I thought that, whoa, we'll surely be out of talking by the time we reach 8:30, but that was not the case.
Mose, I want to say that from all I have heard, Prime Minister John Briceño has instructed his ministers, especially the Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, that this matter should, at least the bill, should be completed under this tenure, right?
Under this term.
Under this term, yes. Which is what, 20...
3 more years? I don't know.
Yeah. So that means that get working with this, like stop the delay. With this matter, I think that if there's a political will to do it, it can be done. Government has to make decisions that may not be popular, that not everybody will be happy with, but one that is, to me, the solution is there. We just have to get people around the table to talk to one another. We have no interest at all in disenfranchising any group of people, right? Zero interest in that. But we believe that there is a solution, and that solution, that government has to lead that with the participation of the people of Toledo district. The solution can't come from outside of the district, because we know exactly how we coexist.
You know, I think TPL came about because we wanted to be included. We wanted to be a part of the discussion. There's been this, you either for it or you against it. And we are moving away from that. Communion land rights exist. The consent order said that. As people from Toledo, or PG as we call it, we could see where protection was needed. So it's not, oh, you're either for this or you're against that. No. So more discussions are being held now, and we're really grateful for that. Thank you for having us here, because this is a part of that. We are now a part of the joint review, let me get the name right, joint review panel, and we're waiting for the invitation to now be at the table so that whatever bill comes, we will be a part of that conversation, because we believe that a mosaic can exist and that we can figure this out in a way that all our rights are respected. And so that's what we continue to fight for and to advocate for in every news station, every meeting that we go to.
Well, on my part, as a Belizean Mopan woman, I believe in unity, and I believe that we should respect each other. Doesn't matter which culture you are from. We are one Belize. For me, if you are, the minute you're starting to talk about one culture is better than the other, you don't business in Belize. That's how I see it. So I believe in unity and respect to everyone. And I believe, as being a part of TPLL, I want to see that we move forward for a peaceful nation. We cannot have a nation within a nation. That's how I see it. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you all for taking the time out, in some cases traveling all the way from down south to be here with us. Appreciate the opportunity to ask questions and to be enlightened and to have a better understanding. And in the case of you, Ms. King, you've been here twice. You've put in the hours.
Just maybe to add, Mose, maybe I would like to ask the people as well in Toledo to be versed with the consent order. If you don't understand something, try to ask and not just think or assume that's what you know from the consent. If you don't know, ask.
Do you guys have a...
We have a Facebook page.
We have a Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay.
So by all means, yes, please reach out to us there.
Okay. All right. But thank you all again. We will take a final break and come back and wrap up the show for today.
Thank you.
El evento de fútbol más grande del mundo por fin llegó y Smart te invita a vivir toda la emoción del mundial. Antes de que empiece cada partido, predice quién se lleva la victoria. Entre más predicciones hagas, más oportunidades acumulas. Suma un punto cuando le aciertes al equipo ganador y si le atinas al marcador exacto, obtienes hasta 4 puntos. La persona con más puntos al terminar el mundial se lleva $2,500 en efectivo. Y eso no es todo. También habrá premios semanales durante toda la competencia. Además, el líder de los cuartos de final se lleva un paquete completo para armar su Watch Party. Participa directamente desde la app de Smart por solo 50 centavos por participación. Las predicciones estarán disponibles del 1 de junio al 18 de julio del 2026. No solo veas el mundial, vívelo con Smart. Smart, bring people together.
This is the general. We just coming again. Yeah, yeah. We just won. We just yo, yo. Hey. Take it low, 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 take it low. Then you wine right there, take your time right there. You do it fine right there. You blow my mind right there. Take it low, 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 take it low. Hey, Babina Hanuma, Babina Hanuma.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together. at Habet and Brothers Habet. Celebrate your super handy dad with gifts he'll actually use and enjoy super savings all June. Like 15% off all power tools and Stanley hand tools, 20% off Vento PVC windows, 20% off Ascot porcelain tiles and 30% off Piso Forte ceramic tiles, and 40% off Sunlight windows and doors. Plus, stop in at Brothers Habet every Saturday for our veranda clearance blowout. And for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win a power tool every Saturday. Visit Habet and Brothers Habet today and give Dad something worthy of his super handiness. Happy Father's Day to all super handy dads.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
All right, with health and strength, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Ratings and respect to the team, of course, always. Larry G at Creme Radio, XTV, Cliff, The Glue, and directing this morning, Alan Wagner. You guys have a great Tuesday. Stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
I mean, wake up, Billy's, wake up, Billy's. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB, get up, get up. Every day count up wasted people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show? No matter even if you're at home.